Good afternoon, everyone.
Morgan
is now joining.
We've got a couple of people coming in on the phone here, Nathan. Just let me get them all in because that'll interrupt you each time. Just one sec here.
Morgan
is now exiting.
All right. All right, Nathan, I think you're good to go, and we're recording.
Awesome, thanks, Kara. You can hear me okay? Awesome, good. Thank you. Welcome everyone to this session of CompuVision Live training. Definitely excited about the time we have together over the next 30 minutes. We plan on introducing you to Microsoft Teams. So definitely excited about this chance we have to show you the power of Teams and how it can help your business in terms of how you communicate and collaborate online. But also want to thank you or provide a little bit of thank you to all of our clients that are joining us. It's great to feel the support, and hopefully everyone can take a little bit of information away from our session here today. My name is Nathan Lee. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing here at CompuVision, and today's agenda is going to cover a number of things. We're going to give you a bit of an introduction to Teams, what it's about, how you can get Teams set up and running, what you can do to start chatting with your colleagues and making calls and communicating online. Tools that you can use to help with notifications and filters so that you can find what you're looking for. How you can share files and collaborate online, and then holding video conference meetings like we're having here today. So a lot to cover, and we've been given about 30 minutes to cover this material. So I will be moving through all of this, but if there are some of you who have questions, please feel free to add them to the chat window, and we will try and get to them after the call has ended. So those who want to stick around a little bit afterwards, I have some time, and we can address as many questions as we can. So let's go ahead and get started. Microsoft Teams is a program platform which is a unified communication service. So what that means is it allows you to collaborate online through instant messaging or chat, video conferencing, as well as sharing files. Microsoft Teams has really taken over the traditional Microsoft Skype business.
Is now joining.
Oh, Nathan, sorry, you're muted.
And so Microsoft Teams is being used across the world and is part of the Microsoft Office 365 suite. It also allows you to communicate using any device. So this is a great platform if you've got people that are on the road, because you can use it with your mobile, tablets or laptops, as well as desktop computers. And so it's a real good utilization of your team's resources as they travel and move abroad. To show you the platform, if you're joining, you can follow along as well. But to show you the platform itself, you can notice that along the left-hand side, we have a number of different icons, each of them representing different things. We've got an activity icon, which shows you all the communication that's happening that you're a part of. You got a chat icon, which describes or is conversations that you're having one-on-one with an individual. You've got your teams. These are groups of individuals that you've organized in your corporation where you can collaborate and work together online. You got your calendar that is integrated with Outlook, so it shows your calendar for the day and weeks. You also have calls so that, again, you can communicate and dial people using Microsoft Teams. And then you also have files, common files of recent files you may have been sharing with online. So the Microsoft Teams is organized in a way where you have you also have menus at the top that you can utilize, and also menus at the bottom that you can also utilize. And we'll get into each of these and what they mean here in a moment. So the overall interface is fairly simple in design and in concept, and it requires
+17809043007
Is now exiting.
all it requires is that you have a Microsoft account and a subscription with Office 365. So let's get up and running. Obviously, the first thing that you want to do is have an Office account and a subscription to Office 365, and then you can go in, you can start creating your teams and start inviting people to start chatting. So when you are in Teams, if you go down to the Teams icon, you'll notice down at the bottom is where you have the option to join or create a team. When creating teams and building out your structure, it's important for you to give a little bit of thought to this. Many of the teams that can be created can be based on your departments. It also can be special groups that you want to have. Perhaps there's committees or other things like that that you have in your organization. All you have to do is go down to the bottom, click join or create. Now, once you've decided what that structure is going to look like, it can go a little bit rogue if you're not too careful. So setting up proper permissions and making sure you have a gatekeeper as to who controls the creation of those groups is pretty important. That way you maintain a good structure and it's clear to everyone within your organization as to where they go to find the information that they're looking for. So when I click join or create a team, you can see here you have an option here to join a team with a code. Each team can generate a code. You enter the code and then you can ask to join that team. Because of the permissions that we have in our organization, I don't have the rights to be able to just create any team. But normally and you can check on your own screens if you're using Teams right now, you'll also be able to see another similar option to create a team. And so pretty much all you have to do is click on the button, give it a name, a description, and it will create that team for you. So similar to our sales and marketing team over here, it will create this team and it will automatically create a general channel. So the general channel is where you'll have your posts, your files, and other applications. This is basically where you start communicating with your team. Now, once you've created your team, you'll need to add people. So by clicking on the three dots next to your team, you'll see many options available to you. You can find the third option down where it says add member. When adding a member, all you have to do is provide an email address, or if it's a person in your organization, like Kara, our Director of Strategic Marketing, I can simply start typing the person's name, select them, and then add them to the team. If you are working with individuals outside your organization, perhaps you have vendors, suppliers, or partners, you can also invite people who are outside of your organization. In this case, if I use my personal account, Outlook.com, it will come up and it will allow you to add someone as a guest. And what will happen is they will be sent an email confirmation, and then you'll be able to have them log in to Teams and be able to view your organization or just that team that they have been invited to. And so what that means is that they can participate in the chats, be able to share files, and basically work as though they're within your organization. Managing your team also is important. Again, if you go back to the team, the three dots next to your team, you go to manage team. It allows you to see who are the owners of the team, who are the members and guests. It also allows you to change permissions and also to remove them from your team. You can also add additional members here after the team has been created. The other thing is that with every team that you have, you may have special projects or initiatives that you want to work on with your team. Those are referred as channels. So you can see here under our team, sales and marketing, we've got marketing and we've got sales. And so each of those teams respectively can contribute to the conversation. And it's just a way for you to organize your initiatives, files, records, sharing, comments, and dialogue within different areas. To do that, again, the same thing applies. You go down, you click on the three dots, go down to Add Channel. You click on Add Channel, provided a name and a description, and then you indicate whether you want everyone on your team to have access to that channel, or if you want to make it a private channel, then you can do so and specify only the specific individuals on your team that you want to participate in that channel. Fairly straightforward and very clean interface to manage and to work with. So pretty simple just to get up, start creating teams, adding people, and starting having that conversation, which leads us to the next. Let's talk, let's share, and let's communicate either one-on-one or in groups collectively together. So a lot of the conversations that you're going to have is going to be one-on-one, and so it's best to show you how this is to be done. So right from within Teams, if you click on chat, you'll see all of the recent conversations that you've had. And in those conversations, if I click on any one individual, I can see all the past dialogue and past communications that we might have had, and also allows me to be able to see the status of the individual. So what you'll notice is that individuals will have a colored dot next to them, which indicates different things. For instance, red would be in a call, green down here below, it shows that this person is available. And all of these statuses are linked to your calendar. So if your calendar says that you're busy, or your calendar says that you're out of the office, then the indication, your status will be updated accordingly. So I might be on this a conversation and I just say, hey, start the conversation. Very easy to communicate. If I want longer messages, I can continue typing a bunch of messages in here. If I can do my formatting, I can attach a file. I can attach an emoji. I can also attach a GIF. These are just fun ways to connect with people, have some fun, and just be able to give a bit of your personality in these conversations. So chatting and communicating one-on-one is fairly straightforward and flexible in a number of different ways. One of the things that you can obviously do right from within a chat is you can start a call. So perhaps you're having a conversation and it's back and forth, and you're like, okay, well, we're having quite a bit of a conversation here. Why don't we just have a phone call, and you can initiate a phone call with this person right away. The other way you have conversations is obviously right within the team itself. So under the post section of your team, you can also start conversations within this team. Everything still applies. You'll notice that when a conversation happens that I can reply to an individual's comment, and so that they can actually see what it is that I'm commenting on. It also could be that I have I join a conversation that has been going on for some time. If you're coming into a conversation and you're scrolling up and you're starting to see, oh, okay, there's a lot of conversation that is happening, what you can do is allow the conversation to continue is to mention someone. So when we talk about having conversations and calls, notifying people and filtering the call is also very important. So when we are mentioning someone, what that does is they may be 4 or 5 comments above, and I want to mention them so that my comment goes directly to them. So when I use the @ symbol and then I start typing the person's name, it will show the individual, and then I just simply hit tab, and it will bring that individual's name in. It's kind of highlighted there, as you see, and then I can say, you know, whatever I care to say. Really liked your comment. And what will happen is that person will get flagged, so that they know that I'm actually commenting on something they said earlier in the conversation. The other thing too is whenever you mention someone, it will also send them a notification in their email. So it allows them to see that they might have missed a call or missed a comment, and so they can come back into Teams and catch up in all of the conversation that has been happening. When we talk about notifying filters, there's a lot of different ways in which you can go into Teams and find the information that you're looking for. One of the things that we do often is go to activity. Now, under your activity tab, you'll notice that everything that you're involved in will come into your activity feed. So you can go into your activity feed and you can click on the filter button and you can start typing anything that is of interest, something that may have been a part of a conversation in the past, and it will filter the content and bring up what you're looking for so you can quickly find it. The other thing that you can do as well is there's several categories that you can filter by in terms of mentions, like I just mentioned. When you go in there, it will show you any previous mentions that someone was sending out to you specifically. You can also see any unread messages, replies. If there is any reactions, reactions are like someone makes a comment and you come here and you make a reaction like, oh yeah, I like that comment. That was a great. And I can make a bunch of comments. When you go up here to filter, you can see who reacted to some of my comments and stay connected in that way. The filter applies to all of the areas of Microsoft Teams, so you can go into any one of your teams, and you can filter that team or channel by typing in anything specifically that you're looking for. Now, as each team and each channel that you belong to has multiple different notifications, if under your icon or your profile, if you go to settings, in there you can modify any of the notification settings that you have. So if someone does mention you, you may not necessarily want an email, maybe just show it in the banner. This is allowing you to personalize all of the notifications that are coming to you in a way in which you prefer. So we're kind of at the halfway or just over the halfway mark. I just wanted to mention that those who may have come in late, if you do have any questions and would like to get some answers, just feel free to enter it into the chat window. I did mention at the beginning of the course that I will hang out for a little bit afterward just to answer anyone's questions that they might have. The next thing is uploading and sharing of files. So when we upload and share files, this is one of the main features that we're looking to share. It's important because there's lots of collaboration that you can do within Microsoft Teams. So any team conversation that I have, I can go in and I can see the files that are associated with that conversation. And so this is great because otherwise I would be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling trying to find that file. It keeps track of any files I would have shared. So an example is in my communication down here below, like I mentioned earlier, I can attach documents to this conversation if I want to share them with the group or with the individual, and it keeps those files stored nicely. Same within Microsoft Teams. I can go into the Teams section. I can go under Files, and I can see all of the related files of those conversations and be able to work with them. Now, once you're in Files and you're working within your Teams section, you can see that there's a number of things and options you have. So I can go in and I can create a new file, Word document, Excel document. That's one way. I can create a new file and share it with the team. I can also upload files, pick something from my desktop and upload it. I can also select a file so that if I want to share it, I can download that file, send it in an email and share it to someone. I can also copy a link to that file. So by copying a link, it allows me to then share that file or that link with an individual that I want. What that does is it says basically if you have this unique link, because it creates a very unique link, and you send that to someone, then and they obviously have access to your team, then you'll be able to share that link to them. We also can open files. So if I open files here, if I go to Files, I can select a file. Oh, sorry, I keep going to the wrong one. I can open that file online in Excel or edit right even within Teams. If I open that file, I can see that if others open the same file, I can use conversations. And so I can have a conversation here and make comments, and I can be able to collaborate online with those within my team. So it's a great way to be able to bring up documents that your team is working on and get everyone on the same page. And then as you're editing that document, you actually can see where people are making changes, and then you can make comments on the side. Very, very useful tool. When I open up in SharePoint, SharePoint is where these documents actually reside. And so it allows you to use a SharePoint intranet. It just gives you more options, more features, and allows you to communicate within your organization more effectively. Video meetings. Scheduling, hosting, and sharing your screen within a video meeting. Meetings are great, and Microsoft Teams has done an awesome job in facilitating that. Whenever I want to start a meeting, I can start a meeting. If I'm talking to someone on an individual basis, I can call them, or I can click on the video call, and their computer will start to ring. They can answer, and then I'm actually talking to them face to face or on the call. If I'm in a meeting, I can also invite another participant. So if I'm talking with Brandon and I want Kara to be on the phone with me as well, I can add that person, and we can then automatically have additional people join that conversation. If I'm in Teams, I can go to my team and I can start a meeting right down below, and that means that's an instant meeting. Everyone's if we're already chatting, I can just go ahead and start that meeting. If I go to my calendar, I can go in and start a meeting now, and that will just launch the meeting, and it will allow me to open up a meeting session, and then I can invite people to that meeting. I also create a new meeting right here, put in a title, add participants, put in the date and time, make sure that I'm putting in a location and the details. And this will send off an email to all of the participants with the appropriate links, similar to what you would have received in an email when we sent out the meeting links for this call. Really easy to do. The other thing too is that in Microsoft Outlook, you also have the ability to schedule a meeting. Outlook will provide you with this button here, Join Meeting, and
Oh, I think we just lost Nathan.
yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. And when you join a meeting, you can actually send that invite out, and then it will allow you to and then it will send that invitation out so that you can join that meeting. So very easy to join a meeting. Now, if you are using Teams, you do have the ability within the Teams window. You should see a toolbar in that window. So easy enough for you to turn your camera on or off. You can also mute yourself. There is a button that looks like a box with an arrow that allows you to share your screen. You also have 3 dots that allow you to be able to record the video or video conversation and provide other options. You also have a participant icon that you should see as well. The reason I'm saying this is because you can't see it on my screen because I'm in the training. But there's a participant video or icon. As people join your meeting, even those in your organization, you may have to admit them into the meeting. They'll sit in the lobby. So like if you have a meeting with a client, they'll be sitting in the lobby and you have to welcome them into the meeting for them to join. So you need to that participate icon becomes very important for you to be aware of. There's also a whiteboard option as well that you have, where when you start the meeting, you can go ahead and click on the share screen icon. And as you share the screen, it allows you to create a whiteboard. So it's quite easy enough for you to do different things within the program itself, so that you can collaborate with your team online and be able to accomplish the things that you need to in your meeting. We are approaching the end of our call, and so we have a minute left. I wanted just to thank you for the time that you've given. There's a lot of material covered here. Hopefully you'll be able to take away something. I wanted to mention that we do have some upcoming training sessions. One on April 22nd, which is how do I keep up positive morale among my employees, which is at 2 p.m. And then on the 29th, this is a special business case study that we're going to be sharing what we learned along the way during the COVID-19 pandemic and how we were able to transition all of our employees in 3 days and a lot of the lessons learned that came from that. So we encourage you to attend both of those sessions. We'll also be sending out some feedback and additional information on Teams, so you can watch for that. And like I mentioned, if you do have any questions, you want to stick around, please do, and I'll give some time to those who might have some questions. Thank you. So Kara, is there anyone?
Yeah. Hey,
question?
Lori, if you're still around, Lori Boren, maybe you can just clarify your question.
You're muted, Lori.
Okay, sorry. I just noticed that when there's meetings that a reminder doesn't pop up. You know how when you normally schedule a meeting in Outlook that a reminder pops up 15 minutes ahead of time or whatever time you choose ahead of time so that you can use that to log into a webinar. And I noticed that whenever I've had meetings on here, like it's twice now with you guys, with CompuVision, that a reminder doesn't pop up. And I just think it would be nice because then they can press join the meeting, right? But when I look in here, it doesn't show a spot for that reminder.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I heard the question. Thank you for the question. So you're saying like where you're joining a conference and like a few minutes before your meeting, you're notified in an email that the meeting's about to start.
Yes.
Yes. Let me just pull up.
Because I've scheduled a meeting for tomorrow, and I would like the attendees to receive a notice, like all of our project managers. And you've set a reminder. So here I'm showing you this. So you're going here and you're setting a reminder here. I don't see where there's a spot to set a reminder.
Hey, Nathan is just not sharing. Share your screen for a sec.
Sorry.
Okay.
So when you're sending out, are you setting a reminder?
Okay. You know what? Maybe I just didn't make it big enough.
Yes.
Yeah. And for the training ones, depending on your settings, I do have a 15-minute timer set, but some people have those turned off in their settings. So you can turn off notifications very easily in your Outlook. So if it didn't ping you, it just might be a toggle in your settings.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Now, with that being said, generally that notification is going to be similar to how Outlook behaves. It will pop up on your screen. It's not going to send you an email.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want, is for it to pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe watch for that and see if that makes a difference then.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Brittany McLean, is there a way to continuously share your screen? I've tried, but when wanting to switch screens, it cannot register. Brittany, do you want to hop on and just give some clarity to that? Is it just like what you did today?
Hi.
Hi.
Kind of. So today we actually had a meeting where I wanted to share multiple screens. But it was only allowing me to pull up one file at a time. So it was like I could pull up a Word document, but not share anything else.
Okay. So when you're first sharing your screen, and it's going to be hard for me to show you because you can't actually see, but you'll have basically three options. You can share your desktop, share a program, or share the actual document itself. The reason those are set up that way is so you can prevent anyone from seeing anything other than what you're sharing. So in your example, you might have been sharing just your document. And so then therefore, if you were dragging things into your screen, they wouldn't have been able to see that. They were only going to be able to see the document itself. Was that what you were attempting to do, is to kind of move from showing one program and another and back and forth?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm sharing my desktop. Can you see what's happening here now?
Yeah.
And now I'm bringing in this program.
Yeah.
And now I'm bringing in this program. So you're actually seeing me add things to my specific screen. Whereas if I were to just share the PowerPoint presentation that I had, you would only see the presentation. You wouldn't see anything else.
Okay.
So a benefit for sure, because in this situation, you want to be able, or in a situation where you just want to show the program and not show anything else because you might have sensitive information, that's what you do. Otherwise, if you just choose the share screen option, you'll be able to bring a bunch of applications in there for people to see.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, Darren, you're next.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe a dumb old guy question, but you mentioned back when you were showing the files section, like shared files, that they were located in SharePoint. We use the OneDrive a lot, like a shared OneDrive where we can see the same. Is that basically the same thing, or should we be putting those files into this SharePoint?
They are similar in that when you're using OneDrive, you can set up a number of different directories that you can share with your group. But OneDrive is restricted in some respects because it's more for individuals. So if I had like my OneDrive and I wanted to share files with you, I could do that. I can take my OneDrive and I can share files with you, but it's not in a corporate structure. And so then you have files and you can then share them with me. But again, you've got your files and you're sharing with me. And so it's kind of like everyone has their files and then we just share them with each other. I'll show you my screen again. So within Teams, the SharePoint structure is the way to go. This is the structure that you're wanting to use, because again, it's built around the structure of creating groups. So the sales and marketing group, or AKA Teams, when you set that up, then all automatically what SharePoint will do is it will build the structure around that team. So now it's integrated within Teams, within SharePoint. It's just a different way of accomplishing a similar goal. It's just that this way it's more structured and you have a lot more flexibility in what you can do for your organization. So long and short of it, you'll want to graduate from just using OneDrive to moving more into this team structure and SharePoint.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's it I have for the chat. If anybody wants to unmute themselves and ask something, there's still 20 people on, so feel free.
I wanted to show something else here because it can be an option, like
plus
right
1-780-974-9733
Is now exiting.
We're restricted here with just SharePoint because that's how our system's been configured. But to add on to the last question, if you have other storage that you want to incorporate within Teams, you can do so here. So normally this would also show like Dropbox and Google Drive. So if you want to incorporate other storage out of the box, it will allow you to do this. We have restrictions in place, but that's another option. If you've got other files you want to share within Teams, that's the way you would do it. Any other questions, Kara?
No, it doesn't look like it. I think we're all good to go. So I'm going to end the meeting here if that works for everybody. Just get that done.
Yeah. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.